group doing? So just like we did in the do now, how do I even start? I need some kind of roadmap to tell me how to start. So how do I even start this equation?
-2, -1, 0, 1 and 2.
One more time.
-2, -1, 0, and 1 and 2.
Exactly. So I start -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. The reason why we want to use smaller numbers is the math is going to be a little easier for us to do. All right? So this first problem, y is equal to x. I know that my x value is -2. So I'm going to substitute that into my x value here. So if you need to write it out, go ahead and write it out. Show the work. It might make it a little easier for you.
Then it's y equals -2.
Y is equal to -2. So this tells me that every time x is -2, y has to equal -2. And this one's a pretty simple one because it's just a reflection, right? But once you move down and you do these equations, you'll see that they're going to be a little bit different every time. Does that make sense? Okay, so try that out. And then if you guys get a little lost along the way, just compare your answers, see if you guys are getting the same thing. Got it? How you guys doing?
What are you doing with it?
When you're done?
Yeah.
So now you have your points.
Yeah.
Now you just need to start plotting your points.
So we just plot them. Do we have to label them at all, or it doesn't matter?
It might help, yeah. It might help to label it a little bit. This is kind of just an activity to kind of remind you how to graph a little bit.
Oh.
But you'll see. If you label it, it might make it a little easier for you in the long run. So, good question. How you doing? Getting it? Good job. That's what I like to see. Showing all your work. That's good. Are you starting to see a pattern a little bit?
Yeah.
What do you notice about your Y's here?
I don't know what's why.
What do you notice about when you go from here to here and then here to here?
It's going up.
It's going up one, right? Did you notice it when you go across this way too?
Oh,
What happens here?
oh, it's going up.
It goes up. You see how the patterns all kind of start connecting together? That's why it's called a linear equation, because it makes a straight line. So you'll see patterns going this way, and you'll see patterns going that way.
So these go that way too?
Exactly. See? Because you got 3, 4, 5. What would this one be? If you're moving up every time.
6.
Exactly. But you'll see that when you actually do the substitution, it's going to work out that way. Okay? All right, you guys got about 3 more minutes to finish up as much as you can. So it's crunch time. How's it going? Good job. Good job. UCLA, how are we doing?
Great.
You getting it?
Yeah.
So you got the points. Let's start plotting them now. You guys starting to see a pattern a little bit?
Yes.
What patterns do you notice?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So you notice a pattern going horizontally too, right? Is there a pattern the other way?
Yep.
Which way?
They're all going down by 2.
They're all going down by 2 and they're going to the right also. So that's how the linear equations start, connecting together. Because it's going to make a straight line when you do vertical and horizontal. Good job.
What is it?
How you guys doing? I know it's kind of hard to do without a ruler, right? Guys have any questions? What are you noticing about your pattern? So Daniela, yours is going to be a little bit different from everybody else's group. But what do you notice is different from her group right there?
Their houses just next to each other. Yeah,
They're all next to each other. What's the vocab word?
parallel.
Hers are all parallel. What do you notice about yours?
They're not parallel.
They're not parallel. What's happening with them?
They're
Are they perpendicular? What does perpendicular mean?
crossing each other.
They're crossing each other. Where are they crossing each other? Do you notice something kind of unusual about it? And what is that point called? Do you remember? Right in the middle, the bullseye of a graph. Starts with an O. Pretty close.
The origin.
The origin. Good job. So we notice that this crosses with the origin. What do you notice about her graphs and your graphs? What's the difference between her actual equations and your equations?
Hers add
Mine
by
does it
0
plus
and
1.
her add 1 every time.
So she's adding a number every time, and what are you adding to yours?
Nothing.
Nothing. And what's the value for adding nothing?
0.
You're adding 0. So you'll notice that that makes a little bit of a difference too. And we're gonna see that when we put all the graphs up in front of us. Good job though. All right, about 1 more minute and then we're gonna move on to the next step. Just graph as much as you can right now. It's not a big deal if you don't have it done. Graphing, you're plotting points. So these are your x and these are your y.
Oh, we have to plug it
So
in.
which one's your x-axis, which one's your y-axis? Good job, you labeled them. I like that. Okay, so if I'm graphing, you start from the very beginning. If I'm graphing a -2, which way am I going?
Down.
Good job. And then your y is -3. So there's my point. So now you do the next one. No, from here, from the origin. You always start from the origin. So my next point, -1, -2,
Negative 1.
-2. Good job. And now my next one, 0, -1. Are you noticing something there?
Looks like a turkey.
I don't see a turkey there, but I noticed something. What do you
It's a
notice?
straight line.
It's going to be a straight line. So if you want to keep graphing these, you can. But after you graph 3 of them, you'll start seeing a pattern. Okay?
Oh, okay.
That's why it's called a linear equation. It makes a line.
See, you would have got us wrong.
It's all right.
Where you come up with -11?
So keep graphing them. Good job. What's up? Perfect. What do you notice about those
It's going
dots?
straight like that right there.
Yeah, it makes
he
a
said
straight
it's
line.
2, 4, 6, 8, all that, 5, 6.
You will start seeing that pattern. You notice how you're getting lines here, you're getting lines here, and then when you put your
2,
dots,
4, 6, 8, 10.
Yeah, but what, like I say, she said it's -1, but ain't it just like,
for which equation?
what is it?
For you plugging in -1?
Yeah,
So when I plug in -1, what's 2 times -1?
negative, but I don't know.
So what's a positive times a negative?
A negative?
A negative. So
It's
2
-2?
It's -2. So my y right here, that's gonna be -2.
It's going down 2.
It's going down 2.
No, not mine.
If I have a negative number and my negative number gets smaller, am I actually going down or up on the number line? You're going up. So your number's actually getting bigger. All right. So
Then
what was this next
0,
one? Good job. You're starting to connect them together.
2.
Yep. Okay, good job. I'll be right back. Okay, 5. Eyes up here. 4. Pencils down. 3, 2, 1. So I understand you guys aren't 100% done, and that's completely okay. Okay, because that was just a little bit of individual practice. Now, once you guys start to put your heads together, I think you guys are going to be able to finish this next task within 15 minutes, which is going to be the timeline. Okay? So each of you should individually, usually the example, started graphing. Okay? Your next task is in your college, you guys are going to produce something that looks similar to the graph that I've made up here. So really, you're taking your worksheet and you're blowing up and making it poster size for me. Okay? Here are the guidelines. Each line or each graph that you graph, it has to be a different color. It's just going to make it a lot easier for the class to pull apart the different lines. Okay? Within your poster, you're also going to need to label it somehow. I label it 2 different ways. You only have to pick one, or you could do your own way of labeling. You can either label the lines, or you can make some kind of answer key. Okay, so right here, you'll see that the red line, so, yeah, you gotta connect them together though. You'll see that they're a little wrong. You have to, when you plug them in, -1, that's gonna be -2, right? 0, that's gonna be 0. 1, and then 2. You gotta go up. So it's a little off. So use your minds together and come up with something new.
Here, I got the thing.
You guys got all the materials you need?
Do you want more colors?
Okay. So keep in mind, you got 15 minutes, so you gotta get going. So maybe a good idea is to split it up. Each of you can do one line, while somebody works on the title, or any way you want to do it. But you'll start seeing the connection between all 4 of your lines if you're doing it right.
Oh, okay.
Got it? Cool.
So this is gonna be the pen.
Since Costa's not the line, just use his.
That's alright, it'll work out.
Don't get it.
It'll work out. It might be a good idea to push your desk together.
Look
so
at
you guys-
this.
I don't have one. I stole your
So just do one at a time and you'll see how they start connecting together. Or compare your graphs. You see, I'm just looking at these two graphs right here and I see a lot of similarities between the two. Do you?
They're all the same.
Are they the same line? If they're the same line, they'd be on top of each other, right? What do you notice about these lines?
They're perpendicular.
Are they perpendicular?
No.
They're parallel.
They're parallel. 'Cause what do I know about parallel lines?
They're basically the same.
They're basically the same. What is the same on a parallel line?
The slope.
The slope is the same. What is different though? The y-intercept, right? They cross the y-intercept at different places, but since they have the same slope, you know they're never going to cross.
All right.
Good job. So start. Tell me what you just told me on a graph. You can do it. So you guys have, let's see, you two have different graphs, and you two have different graphs. Yeah. Because these two, you see how these two are the same? And then those, you two have a different one. So you guys need two different posters between you two. Does that make sense? So you two need to do a poster, you two need to do a poster. Good job. That's a good start. Do you guys need a ruler? It doesn't have to be perfectly straight either. But I think there's some ruler. There's a white one up there, I see.
Do I know like this or like this?
What's that?
Do I know like this or like this?
It doesn't matter.
Oh.
You just, it's upside down right now the way you're doing it, but that's okay. Just write, your title could be on the bottom rather than the top.
Oh.
See what I'm saying? Okay.
You know what I said?
So are you getting confused on how to graph?
Yeah.
Okay. So we always start, when we're graphing, we always start at the origin, right?
Could you turn around?
Where's the origin at on our graph?
That's gonna be different.
Yep. So right here, let's figure out the very first point. If my x value is -2, which direction do I go on the number line?
Yeah.
Good job. And then if my y is -3, where do I go? Down 3. So from this point, put your pencil on that point, we have to go down 3. There you go, that's your first point. Now my second point, start at the origin, -1,
Right here.
-1. Which way? There you go. And then -1 is my y. There you go. You don't need to put these dots. That's just telling you where you're going. Okay? 0. So start at the origin. I'm going 0. So I just stay there, right? Then I go what direction?
Up one.
Yep. Now, you can keep going, but what do you notice about these 3 points right there?
Going straight.
It's gonna make a what kind of line?
Line.
A straight line. So you can just connect the dots and go on to your next one. Okay? But at this point, since you know how to do this now, you might want to start helping them with their graph. Make sure that they're doing it the same way you just did it, because that was perfectly right. Got it?
Two up on the right one. Yeah, it's basically on top of each other.
Okay. So where was?
So we write graph 5 on top.
Yep. Because you guys are graph 5. Good job.
All right, good. Okay, now do the graph.
And then a good idea might be to, since there's 5 of you and there's 5 lines, maybe each of you, participate by putting one line on there,
Yeah.
and make sure everybody else is doing it right.
All right.
Got it? So Oscar, how about you do the first line for us? And you guys watch him, make sure he's doing the right thing.